I wrote down the top 32 NFL head coaches. These are my power rankings for the top 32 coaches in the NFL going into this year with the personnel that they have. Where do you think Nick Sirianni is on this list? Let's start it. Happy Monday to you. Big Silz National Football Show. I appreciate everybody coming aboard. What an incredible time in the world of sports. Really is, man. I mean, there is so much going on in the world of sports. Politics colliding a little bit today as well. Not going to start the show off on that. I'm going to save that little tidbit for all the people out there that wanted to move the Major League Baseball All-Star Game out of Atlanta. I'll get to that a little bit later on in the program. I first want to start it out by doing this. Please tell me this. Are the Indianapolis Colts needling Carson Wentz? Are they needling Carson Wentz? So Frank Reich today added Nick Foles to the roster in Indianapolis. You know, Wentz last week made a comment saying, I don't know where these comments from Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, came from. I thought we were in a good place. And Carson was like, I was shocked. And all of a sudden today, Frank Reich and the Colts, their backup quarterback is Nick Foles in Indy. I don't know, man. It just seems like, you know, it's a shot. I don't know. I mean, Jim Irsay, I think, is pretty pissed. Okay? I think he's pretty pissed that they signed. I don't know what this means for Frank Reich. Okay? But I got to tell you something, man. This is another little gut punch. I'd rather have Nick Foles on the Colts instead of Carson Wentz. I'll take the dude that carried the Eagles to the Super Bowl before I'll have you on the team. That's Jim Irsay. That's got to be Jim Irsay's guy. Okay? I don't think Chris Ballard just went, hey, what do you think? Do we just bring in Nick Foles? I mean, you really think Frank Reich and Chris Ballard, the GM, went, hey, you know, I think this is a good idea. How about the owner going, how about getting Foles? I mean, hey, man, what an absolute shot. Incredible, right? Just incredible, man. I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Hey, thank you so much, Greg, for coming in. Hey, thank you so much, Clayton. By the way, please hit the like button. We got a Power Pack show today. In hour number 2, 4:30 Eastern time, Gary Cobb, Fox 29. And then in hour number 3, Philadelphia legend, sports talker. He was on with Angelo the other day, and he was spectacular on WIP. The legendary Tony Bruno is going to join us. That'll be at 5:30 Eastern time. By the way, the week is set up. Brian Westbrook will join us on Wednesday. Seth Joyner tomorrow at 3:30. So we got it packed up for the next couple days, and we appreciate everybody coming aboard here. I find it crazy. You know, just before I get ready to come on, I'm like this. Hey, man, so wait, Nick Foles is now a Colt. All right, man. Hey, Nick Foles and Matty Ice. That is a pretty good quarterback room, though. It is. It makes sense. And by the way, there was even rumors out there that the Eagles had some interest. People at the Inquirer were saying that there was some interest by the Eagles to bring Nick Foles into the room, but I don't think they wanted to run that thing back. I think Jalen would have been totally cool with it. But, hey, I'm just saying, man, that's just a Jim Irsay gut punch. All right, let's get into some of the topics here. By the way, we got another list. You know that I'm notorious for lists. I love lists. We are going to rank the top 32 NFL head coaches. Where do you think your boy Nick Sirianni or your favorite coach sit in the Big Silz top 32 head coaches? Now, again, this is all with the personnel of today. This is all with the quarterback that you have in the building. This is all with everybody that you have around the room in your roster, your general managers, your assistant coaches. This is all about you being the head football coach of your respective football team. So we'll do that. But before we do that, and by the way, expectations in Philly are exceptional. They are exceptional right now. I said it last week, and I'll continue to say it, and I'm not going to move off unless there's some catastrophic injury. I got the Eagles winning the NFC. I got them winning the NFC. Where do you think I ranked Nick Sirianni as the top 32 coaches in the NFL? These are the elite jobs in the world. Only 32 men in the world have these gigs. Where do you think your boy Sirianni ranks? I got that for you here. All right. I got a Howie Roseman topic. Boy, man, he's done a hell of a job. Let's bury the lead there. He's done a hell of a job in constructing this roster. Xander said it last week, and I'll emphasize it again. Howie can't put a helmet on, can't put a headset on, can't coach the team. All he can do is construct the team. He can help out in hiring assistant coaches. He can help out in hiring NFL head coaches. He can help out on every single thing that surrounds the team. But the number one thing he can't do is walk the sidelines or get out there in between the hash marks and play. Can't. So, in theory, he's done his job. Let me ask this question. Does Howie Roseman have too much power now? Pretty much we would say this, right? Howie's in charge of everything now in Philly. Everything. Hiring of assistant coaches, hiring of head coaches, putting the roster together. Make no mistake about it, Howie Roseman is in complete control of the football team. NFC East Beast, he's right, man. I gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. Hey, I got you one, Angie. Yeah, okay. But here's the difference here. Howie, the last 2 years, has done a great job in drafting. He's done a great job in getting rid of some dead money, Carson Wentz. He's done a great job at finding a second-round quarterback. He's done a great job at finding a coach as of now that took a team to the postseason, and I don't think is getting enough credit for what he did with Jalen Hurts last year. Let's put it this way, too, about Nick Sirianni and the hiring of what Howie Roseman did. Bottom line here is this, right? Hey, Nick Saban didn't think that Jalen Hurts could quarterback his football team. But Nick Sirianni took a quarterback that got his team into the postseason. Does Howie have too much control of your team? Too much power, but he's doing a way better job, says Dog. As long as the fans keep bad Howie in check, says Paul. Craig says no problem. Okay? Eric says Howie in control? Good. If he blows up, we know who to be and hold accountable. Eric, that's a great take. Xander, put Eric up there. Eric, yes. Eric's right. Can't blame the quarterback. You can't blame the coach. Howie Roseman, do we all agree, has complete control of the football team. He has been given complete control of the team. There's no one else to blame. There's no Doug Petersons. There's no Carson Wentz's. If Jalen Hurts fails, that was Howie's call. If Nick Sirianni fails, that's Howie's call. If A.J. Brown blows up, that's Howie's call. If Devontae Smith never pans out, that's Howie's call. When you take that kind of control of a football team and all 53 men that are on the roster, including the coaching staff, Howie Roseman is completely in the bullseye. His face is in the bullseye. There's no one else to blame. You see, you know what you had before? Doug Peterson And Howie, you didn't really know who to blame for the meltdown of Wentz. You didn't really know. Was it the owner meddling? Was Howie meddling too much on the Thursday roster on who was going to play on Sunday, on the actives and inactives on Thursdays when the injury report came out, right? All that stuff was out there for everybody to interpret. There's no interpreting anything now, right? Eric, right? There's no interpreting anything. This is Howie's team. This is not Nick Sirianni's team. The head coach, like, watch this. I'm trying to think, is that what today's NFL is? I don't really think Sean McVay, that's his team. I think that's all of the Rams. Kevin Demoff, Les Snead, and Sean McVay. I think Sean wanted Matthew Stafford and wanted to upgrade the quarterback position. And I think those other two gentlemen in the Rams organization went out and got the guy he wanted. Or went out and got the guy he needed, maybe. As long as he keeps drafting SEC in the first round, I'm okay with all the power, says Jalen. Flex says, I think Nick is the right coach, but I'm not sold on Hurts. Yeah, but Flex, this is a Howie decision. If it fails, it's his this will be the second quarterback he failed on. He failed on Wentz, and that means he'll fail on Jalen. The one position that he's not been able to get right has been the quarterback position. If Jalen Hurts fails, this is on Howie Roseman. It's not on the head coach. It's on Howie, 100%. He is in 100%. First off and foremost, do we all agree that Howie's 100% in control of this team? Maybe that's the question I didn't get a response yet from. You guys all agree. Nobody else has the power Howie has with the Eagles. By the way, here on May 23rd, I'm not suggesting that's the wrong thing because the last couple of years he's been spectacular. We all agree here, right? We all agree here that he's in complete control. Howie's not, and he's not shy about it. He hasn't been shy at all about it. Jalen says Howie thinks it was his Super Bowl and not Doug Peterson's Super Bowl. Howie thinks he made Doug Peterson into the coach that he is. Jalen, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. Chris, I think Howie's grabbed more control since he got that 3-year contract extension, in my opinion. Make no mistake about it. Howie's got more control now of the football team, and that's been placed at his feet by the owner. Okay? He's got a lot of power, but we also know who to blame now. So, does he have too much power? As long as he Now, here's the thing, too. 9-8 is not getting it done. 4-11-1 the year previous is not getting it done. Let's not get over the fact here that the Eagles, I know we have these great expectations this year for this team. But the bottom line is they've won 13 games in the last 2 years. That's not going to get it done. That's got to be an exceptional season this year. Okay? He's got to have an exceptional season. Chris is right. 3,100 yards is not going to get it done. I say this, though, Chris. If he has 25% increase of what he did a year ago, that might be enough to get you to the NFC Championship game. I really believe that. So I don't think Howie has too much power for the team. But the one thing is for sure, we're going to now know who to blame. We're going to now know who to blame. All right. By the way, I wrote down my top 5 defensive rookie of the year candidates. You think Nakobe Dean is going to be in that list? I'll tell you, we'll do that a little bit later on as well. So I've wrote my 5 top guys down that I think are going to be the top 5 candidates to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. Okay? Well, I'll let you guys know. All right. I wrote down the top 32 NFL head coaches. These are my power rankings for the top 32 coaches in the NFL going into this year with the personnel that they have. Where do you think Nick Sirianni is on this list? Let's start it. Number 32, Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell. I think he's going to bring a good offensive knowledge to what they've been lacking. Look, I love Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer's more of a defensive guy, special teams type of guy. I believe that Kevin is going to be one of the guys that's going to catapult his name up this list. But he's a first-year head coach. First-year head coaches in the NFL first have to win the locker room. Okay? First have to win the locker room for me to give them any kind of equity. You know, you guys have to believe and trust in you before you are one of these top 20 guys. Number 31, Dennis Allen. His first go-around was not very good. I think Dennis Allen actually has a pretty good roster in New Orleans. I just don't think he's a very good head football coach. And I think in today's NFL, when you have a defensive-minded guy like that, you've got to have a really good offensive coaching staff, and you really have to have a great coaching staff. Look, if Drew Brees was the quarterback in the building and Dennis Allen got this job, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with this. But to me, I just don't think Dennis Allen is a very good head football coach. Now, let me say this to you. Mike Shanahan sucked his first job. Bill Belichick sucked his first job. There's been numerous guys who have had really, crazy starts to their coaching career. And then once they get the second opportunity, they really prosper and learn from their mistakes. So that can happen. And again, these are how I'm seeing it here on May 23rd, okay? So what's up, Omar? Appreciate you doing this. Number 30, Brian Daboll, Giants. I think Brian did a spectacular job with Josh Allen, and I think he has got a great offensive mind. My question is, the Giant organization, it has just not been the same since Jerry Reese has been in the building and he was the general manager of that team when they were winning Super Bowls and they were going to playoffs every year and their draft was good. Jerry Reese is no longer there. They went to Dave Gettleman. That thing was a train wreck. They've got a brand new general manager. I think Brian Daboll could be another one of these coaches that could skyrocket up the list here. Maybe what we'll do is we'll revisit this and we'll take a look at it after week 8. But to me right now, Brian Daboll, I think he's a brilliant guy, but you're with the Giants and you're with Daniel Jones. Okay? I mean, I think he's good, but I think he's being put in a position that he can't win. Zach says most of these guys are better coordinators than head coaches. It's a fair comment, and it's true. Kyle says, I'd love to hear you interview Howie. First question I would ask Howie, what does Jalen Hurts have to do to keep the job for the next 7 years? I don't know why you can't ask that question. Nobody in the Philadelphia media world asks that question. Well, all the people that have access to him and all the pressers he does, why doesn't anyone ask the question, what does Jalen have to do this year? How many wins? Are you sold on him? Why can't you ask that question? Why can't anyone ask that? They asked it was the national media, by the way, at the Combines that asked the question about him. It wasn't any of the local media. No local media asked that question. Number 29, Dan Campbell. I think they're doing some good things in Detroit. I do. I think he's got a sorry-ass quarterback in Detroit. I think with the draft coming up next year with 7 players that could be taken in the first round at quarterback, I think the Lions are going to be shopping. They'll get off that Jared Goff contract, and I think they move on unless something spectacular happens. I just don't see it. But I like Dan Campbell. I do too, Keith. Okay? I do. Keith, I like the guy. But liking the guy and getting the results you need, right? I mean, that's Frank Vogel that. Frank Vogel wins an NBA championship with the Lakers. 2 years later, he's fired. 2 years later, he's fired. Number 28, Matt Rule. Sorry, David Tepper. That 6-7 year contract you gave him at $68 million, dude, I don't know. You know, he was decent as a position coach in New York, and he had that 1 year at Baylor. And then David Tepper, who's like the richest owner in the NFL, believe it or not, the Carolina Panthers, he hires this guy and he gives him this 6-7 year contract. And I was like, what has he done now to get that contract where you're making $10 million a year? Sorry, dude, I don't see it. His handling of the quarterback position has been atrocious. The fact that the team looks worse today than it did when he took it over. How about this? You know that political question you always ask, are you better 4 years later? You think the Carolina Panthers are better off without Ron Rivera? Or you think they were better with Ron Rivera? I think they were better with Ron Rivera than they are here with Matt Rule. Number 27. These are the top 32 NFL coaches according to Big Silz, my power rankings. Zach says you could be as likable as you want. You need to win in the NFL. Absolutely. Ask Rex Ryan that. Ask Rex Ryan. I got Robert Saleh here at 27 with the Jets. I don't think he's very good. He's not showing me anything, okay? And because he's a minority, people in New York are afraid to question it. You know the greatest thing about sports, and especially my show, I don't give a shit what your color is, what your nationality is, what kind of sex you like, who with who, where you go and pray. I don't care. Are you a good coach? Can you coach tadpoles out of a lake? That's all I give a shit about. But you see, we have somehow collided with mainstream media that if you criticize, you want to hear something crazy? Do you want to hear something crazy? I was criticizing, what was that kid's name up in Boston? David Price. You don't want to know what an activist said about me? David Price, you know how he jacks around on the hill sometimes? I covered David Price when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays, right? Because I was down there for 15 years in Tampa. I said this guy here, man, still jacking around on the hill. This is why he loses his momentum. This is why he loses his focus. And do you want to know what an activist said? He said I was picking on a black pitcher. And I was like, so we're not allowed to talk about Mike Tomlin not having a very good postseason record? That's what people are now getting to. It's ridiculous. Dave Chappelle can't tell any jokes without somebody having their panties in a bind. It's ridiculous. Number 26. I don't even know who this dude is with the Bears. Matt Eberflus? Flus? Who the hell is this guy? Some of these guys that get jobs, you know what? I'm not going to shit on them totally, but I'm going to shit on the Bears. When's the last time the Bears were decent? When Lovey was there? Okay, when's the last time they were decent? You know, Lovey Smith had a winning record and they fired him. I mean, it's like the curse of Lovey. They are pathetic. When's the last quarterback that they developed? They've been drafting dudes like Cade McNown and Stiffs, Justin Fields. I mean, they cannot get anything right. They had Khalil Mack for about 2 years, and then the thing went south. Robert Quinn now wants out. Eastside Monster, I love Lovey too, man. I had a chance to know him in Tampa when he was on Dungy's staff. He's a hell of a man. W2, really. Rex Grossman got to a Super Bowl. Was Lovey the coach? Lovey was the coach of that team, wasn't he? Yeah. Jim McMahon was the last quarterback. And you want to hear something crazy about McMahon? He even played in Philly. McMahon, in his 17 years, never played a full 16-game NFL season because he was always injured. He was always hurt. Always. Number 25, Mike McDaniel, Dolphins. I'm hearing great reviews. Don't know shit about him. Okay? I got an innovative mind. I hear he does really great things. He's going to put these wide receivers in position. But here's a horse that hasn't raced in any race yet. And he's got one of these coveted jobs. Let's see what he does. Nathaniel Hackett. Here's what Nathaniel Hackett has going for him, unlike the rest of these first-year coaches. You know what they have going for him? You got Russell Wilson. You got Russell Wilson. That's what covers, and that's why Nathaniel Hackett, this was probably the best hire, because you take a guy from the Green Bay Packers who dealt with Aaron Rodgers, and now you have a guy coming in who's Russell Wilson. Nathaniel Hackett, unless Russell Wilson gets injured, Russell Wilson's going to have a great year, and they're going to kind of work together here the same way you see Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers working. So he's at number 24. Arthur Smith, don't know shit. Last year, decent, I guess. They won some ball games. But Arthur Smith could be fired at the end of this year. 22, I got Lovie Smith. Here's a really good football coach in a really shitty situation. It's terrible. Lovie Smith is the black guy hired in a poor program like you see all the time at the college level. Guy gets an opportunity to coach, but he gets to coach like Eagle Creek University. You know what I'm saying? Lovey's a quality man. Lovey's a spectacular guy. But Lovie Smith is in an unwinnable situation. If Lovie Smith wins 6 games this year and that shitstorm, Lovie Smith should be NFL Coach of the Year. I hope he really does a super job there. Davis Mills is his quarterback. Okay. If you don't have a quarterback in this league, you can't win. Lovey's a great coach and a good human. And he is definitely something that organization needs. I got Josh McDaniels at number 21, just outside the top 20. And I got him with the Raiders. His first go-around with Denver sucked. He wasn't very good with personnel. He wasn't very good with the team. He lost the team at the end. Nobody had respect for him. And I love the fact that he addressed all those mistakes he made when he was in Denver. You know, at his hiring, he wasn't talking about what he's going to do. He was talking about what he was going to do better than what he did in Denver. And I like that. I think he went back. He dealt with Brady. He dealt with Mac Jones. I think he dealt with all the things that were surrounding the organization as it went through transition. He coached. Look at who he coached. McDaniel coached while he was up there in New England. He coached the Garoppolos. He coached Brady. He coached Jacoby Brissett. He coached he coached Newton. He coached Mac Jones. I mean, he's been and seen it all. I really hope that he really has a great situation there in Las Vegas, especially after what they came out of, their situation here. All right. I'm going to do and finish up as we are now going to talk about the top 20. These are the top 32 NFL head coaches. 32 is Kevin O'Connell, Vikings. 31 is Dennis Allen, Saints. 30 is Brian Dable, Giants. 29 is Dan Campbell, Lions. Matt Rule is 28th, Panthers. Robert Saleh, Jets, 27. 26 is Matt Eberflus, Bears. 25 is Mike McDaniel, Dolphins. 24 is Nathaniel Hackett, 24 with Denver. Arthur Smith is 23 with the Falcons. Lovey with the Texans is 22. Josh McDaniels, 21. We're going to finish up, and I'm going to give you the rest of the top 20 NFL head coaches. Where does Nick Sirianni rank in this conversation? So we will do that. Please hit the like button. Don't forget, folks, do me a favor. Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. That means this: if you're hurt or injured on the job, there is nobody that you should choose other than Morgan & Morgan. They're the biggest casualty law firm in the United States, and no case is too small. There's no such thing as a fender bender when you're talking about getting the right attorney for you. Hey, for the people, it's not a slogan. It's who they are. It's what they do. Past 30 years, John Morgan and his team have done this for all of their clients to the tune of $13.5 billion in settlements. With over 800 attorneys in Philly, in New York, in Florida, and across the country, there's no firm that you'd want to have to go to battle with than Morgan & Morgan. Look, size matters. They're the biggest casualty firm, like I said, in the United States. The call is free, 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The consultation is free, 800-512-1600. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And do me a favor, when you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Big Silz sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.